Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Car Boot Chris. Not Cooking the Haydens. I nearly slipped up then. Welcome back, and thank you for joining us on this Monday night. As always, Monday night, 8 p.m. We are always here, barring disaster or holidays. And as you can see, I'm on my own tonight. I hope everyone's okay with that. If not, tough titties. That's the way it is. It's just me. So you'll have to make do. But lots to talk about. Lots to talk about. Good old eBay pulling a good one again. Absolutely dropping a bombshell on private sellers this time. First, it was the business sellers, and now it's the private sellers. What next? We're going to talk about that in a bit. Belle is okay. She's just a bit exhausted this evening. So she's just having a night off tonight. She's fine. I'm still recovering from last week. I've had an interesting week. I've kind of been trying to be normal, but I've also been really ill as well. Really ill week. Very weird start to the new year, but we're kind of almost back to normal today. Still not feeling great. I'm probably about like 70% back to normal, but I've had a really horrible few days. So, yeah, but I'm getting better. I'm feeling better. And I hope everybody else is good. And I hope your sales aren't quite as bad as mine for the last week. My sales have not been good. Anyway, I'm going to say hello to as many people as possible in the chat. Let me just have a little look on here. Let's get some music going while we do this. Let's whack that down to 14. Get your hellos in. We'll do some shout outs. We'll take that off a loop. And here we go. Let's get back to the start of the chat. Let's see who's in. Angel Delight. Elaine is in. Once Love Treasures. James D. Dave Repairs. Welcome. Lynn is here. Kevin Hawthorne. Alan Starbucks. Helen. Ian is there as well. Glory Souls. Did I nearly fall into a trap? It's a trap. Deborah Sardine is in. Monkey Thrifter. We also have George's Treasure Shed. AC Global. Dan. The Crazy's Life. Sorry to hear about Pitco. Hope he's feeling better soon. Leanne Hill. Joan. Zebu. Dwayne. That's Flipping Retro. Hi, guys. Kevin Pellington. Brummy the Time Lord. See What You Buy, Mike Hughes. Welcome to everybody. I'm going through this list. Limelight Vinty, Left-Handed Hummingbird, Flipper Lee, Richard Payne, Dave Repairs, Guzzy, Fluffy the Muffin, Nothing Major, Janie Vu. Dan's had a call for a month. Ready Steady Retro, I just saw before chat went crazy. Lin, Celia. Hi, Chris. I'm Pitco's partner. Won't be. Oh, yeah. I saw it earlier. Thank you, Celia. Thank you for coming and letting us know. Ian and Becca Comics. Kez. Did I say Richard Payne? DVD Fangirl. Oh, DVD Fangirl. Do you think they're going to go full Vinted and eventually make the fees free for businesses and buyers? Pay all the fees? Maybe. Perhaps we'll come back to that little question. I'm going to star that one, DVD Fangirl. Paul Rose is in. Vinyl Nuts, Joan. Once Love's had a chest infection. Yeah, I know how you feel with that one. Jacob. Greetings from sunny Rill. Are you in Rill as well, Jacob? Are you? That Flipping Wolf. Chris Tyler. That's it. Time's up. Belle always does better than me at this. Adam is in as well. Greetings from cold Somerset. Bloody cold here as well. Don't worry about it. You're not on your own. Mark Hill, welcome to you. Antoinette, Jake. Oh, Jacob's in Rill as well. Nice. Hoofs and Paws. Flipping Wolf said, I was shocked by how much you made on eBay. Even more shocked by YouTube. Great numbers. You can be proud. I am proud of myself. I'm very proud of myself. The last 2 years, I have surpassed my previous job's income. So the job that I left to go full-time reselling. The last 2 years, well, the last financial year, so the one that ended in April, I surpassed my previous job. And this coming financial year end, I fingers crossed, barring a disaster, I should also surpass my previous job. So that's a result in itself. I left my job in 2019, so I've slowly built up from there, even though I was part-time before that as a reseller. So I was already building up from 2015, but I went full-time 2019. So sort of for the last 5 to 6 years as a full-timer, I've been trying to build myself back up to get past my income in my day job, which was 28 grand. I left the job. The job, when I left it, I was earning 28 grand a year, there or thereabouts. It might have been a bit more than that, 28 and a half, something like that. So very, very happy that I managed to surpass that, because it felt like I was then making progress in my own sort of income, in my own career, in my own reselling life, whatever. And that's all you can, honest to God, Wolf, that's all you can compare yourself to is yourself. And if you're happy with the milestones that you've achieved yourself, it don't matter a jot what anybody else is doing. It's completely irrelevant. It doesn't matter. And it's really easy to say, don't compare yourself. Not quite as easy in practice, I know, because you look at other people. Even I look at other resellers sometimes and I think, oh, you know, what's going on? Why can't I reach that? But then if you think about it logically, we're all on different journeys, and that sounds really corny, but we're all in it for different things. We all have different profit margins to work on. We all buy differently. We all buy from different places. Our cost of goods are always different. We all operate different business models. Some people sell loads at low value. Some people sell fewer at higher value. It's all relative to yourself and yourself alone. That's all you can compare yourself to. How well have you done? Are you happy with it? Are you better than what you were before? You don't even have to be better than what you were before, as long as you are just happy with what your lot is right now. There you go. Thank you for the, you know what? I've had a lot of positivity on that video. I wasn't quite expecting it. I wasn't sure what to expect from it. I thought, you know, are people, you know, going to criticize for it, or people going to say you could do better than this, you could do better than that. But 99.9, I don't really think I've had many negatives on it at all. In 24 hours, we've had 5,000 views on it, which is pretty good for my channel, and 71 new subscribers in 24 hours just from that video. And that is mental. I don't think I've had a video that's performed that well in terms of subscriber count. It's weird. Are people just nosy? Are people genuinely interested? I don't know what generated that. I'm trying to figure it out, but it's okay, because the people who want to stay will watch a few videos and stay, and the people who watch the next video and decide they don't like it will go. And that's the way it goes on YouTube. Was that the paperboy job? Yeah. Hello from Kimmel Bay. Are you in Kimmel Bay? Seriously? Laxus? You're not in Kimmel Bay, surely. You can't be. I need to follow that model. I need to get out of the workplace dragging me down. It's always something to work to. Yeah, definitely. Something to work to. Don't rush it. Do it when the time's right. But yeah, why not? Anyone can do it. It does take hard work, though. We know that. This is not an easy job. A lot of people come into it and disappear very quickly. Tap Peddlers in. Welcome to you, Derek. Yeah. How much more work hours do you do now compared to your previous job? Not take it. No. The thing is, Paul, is, and you'll know this as well as everybody else in the chat, obviously I do more work hours. But the difference is that the majority of the hours that I do, it doesn't feel like work. And that is the God's truth. The only time I feel like I'm working is when I'm sat listing stuff. If I'm sat browsing, looking for stuff to buy, it doesn't feel like work to me. If I'm at a boot sale, going around the charity shops, it doesn't feel like work to me. Even posting and packing, it doesn't really feel like work to me. I'm just It's a lifestyle job. That's what we all say. And that means that my job is part of my life and I do it for that reason. So it's kind of intertwined in my life now. And Belle will tell you that. Being a reseller, your job and your personal life are intertwined, and it almost becomes, this is a Ricky Gervais, it almost becomes like one. There's sometimes it's hard to differentiate, no matter how hard you try. It's kind of, I don't know, if I genuinely had to put a number of hours, everything that I do to do with the business, I think I did try and add it up once in a video. I bet it's more now than what it was previous. It must be 60 to 70 hours a week. Could be more if I include sitting down sourcing for stuff. Let's go through the chat. Maximus, Happy New Year to you and to everybody else. I haven't even said Happy New Year to everyone. So yeah, happy 2025. Let's hope it's a good one. Whatever you're doing this year, let's hope it's good. That's true, Dan. There's no ceiling. And this isn't just me, anybody who's a reseller, if you want to go through and go as far as you want, you can do. If you want to put more work in, you can do, and you can earn more money. If you're happy where you're at, that's fine. If you want to do less work, do that. If you're coming up to retirement and you're thinking, I want to work less, then do that, because you can. Everyone's different. Everyone's got different needs. Ian and Becca Comics says, what do you do for health insurance working as a reseller? Don't really have health insurance, Ian and Becca. Are you in the UK? Are you abroad? Are you in the US? Here in the UK, not that many people have private health insurance. You don't really need it unless you don't want to, go via the NHS to have work done, or, you want to go private. Some people do have private health insurance, but no, I don't have health insurance. The only thing I do have is a life policy. Me and Belle both have life policies that cover the mortgage on this house. So if one of us were to pass away in the next, I think we've got 24 years left on it, or 23 years. In the next 23 years, if one of us were to pass away, we will be able to claim enough money to completely pay off this mortgage on the house. So yeah, we have life insurance, but we don't have health insurance. No, there isn't really a need for it unless you're classing like long-term illness, like insurance. Some people have that, but I don't. I just choose to have enough money set aside that if something really serious were to happen, if I was to break my leg or become seriously ill for several months, I'd like to think I would have enough in reserves to cover that. Bad Wolf popping in to say thanks for the gifted membership. Oh, no problem. Hello from snowy North Wales. Nice one, Bad Wolf. Don't forget, if you do want to come and join the Discord till the end of January, you need to send me a private message and I'll send you a link to join the Discord. That goes for anybody from last week. I think there was 15 gifted memberships. Nobody has come and joined the Discord as a result of that. I've only sent out one link, and that was to Ready Steady Retro, I think. And nobody else has come forward. Not too bothered about joining the Discord. That's fine. But you get it free for a month if you want it. Thank you, Deborah Sardine. DVD Fangirl says, I've cut my hours in my main job over the last 5 years, put more time into reselling, been making more each year. So just trying to beat the previous year. I'm 2.5K over what I earned this time last year. That's brilliant, DVD Fangirl. That is perfect. I think I did that in the last year or so of my full-time job. I cut my hours down and I focused a bit more on reselling just to try and make the transition a bit smoother. Welcome, Catherine, on Facebook. Hi, Kat. I hope you're doing okay today. Who's Some Pause says, I've watched most of the yearly figures videos from YouTubers and was surprised by the 6-figure sellers, how little they were left with after fees and costs. It is surprising, but this is it, you see. Everybody's numbers are different, and everybody's profit margins are different, and everybody's expenses are different. It's like, I think most of the six-figure sellers all have some kind of storage facility or pay for storage or have office space, stuff like that. And that takes a massive chunk um, out of your profits. But yeah, everybody operates differently. Ready Steady says, glad to see honesty pays, well deserved. The shocker for me was the cashbacks. The shocker for me was the cash backs you aren't. What does that mean? What does that mean, Ready Steady Retro? Well, thank you for the comment. MJ, welcome. Nice to see you. Leanne says, Chris, I think your turnover video and other resellers just puts it all into perspective and a reality check. You love what you do and have freedom to put the brake on as and when. Absolutely, Leanne. Yeah, totally agree. Yeah. You can go fast or go slow depending on what's going on in life. And that is so important because when you're out there in a real job, and I'll use that term very loosely because I'm now earning more than what my last real job was. When you're out there in that real job, you're very, very confined. It's like, unless you can earn unlimited overtime, most people are like, this is my wage until I get a pay rise next year. This is what I'll be earning. And there's often not scope for change. And there's also not scope to change in your personal life. If there's something going on, you know, if there's something important you need to tend to, if there's family matters to deal with, when you're in a normal job, a real job, much more difficult to deal with. I'm not saying it's all roses by any chance, you know, by any stretch of the imagination. It's not all roses. It's very hard. You have to work a lot of hours to get what you want or what you need. But it's all good fun, isn't it? It's all good fun. DVD says, I spend a lot of my time doing this job, but I enjoy it more. It's a rush to get a bargain and make a nice profit. I agree. It is nice. That's true, AC. Good line. I like that one. It doesn't really feel like work most of the time. That's why I cut back how much effort I put in. I get what I need from it without causing stress. Or if you can do that, that's amazing. And that's perfect. That's exactly what you want from this role. You know, when life changes, you can change and go with the flow and change the way you work very easily. It's like a hobby. Yeah, exactly. A hobby that pays. Definitely a lifestyle. Absolutely. Unfortunately, in the US, yeah, here in the UK, we have our NHS, which will cover us for the majority of, well, everything really, apart from dentistry now. Dentistry, we're all fucked in this country, basically. Excuse the language. We've pretty much lost NHS dentistry now. So most of us, 90% of us now, probably going to have to go private unless it's an emergency. If it's an emergency dentist appointment, you can go NHS and it's much, much cheaper. But routine stuff for dentistry is private, but everything else, you break your leg, you fall ill, you need an operation, it's all covered by our National Health Service, which we pay into, by the way. We pay into that every month, along with our taxes. But there's nothing like it really in the world, to be fair. People criticize the NHS, but I would much rather have the NHS than not, because having spoken to a lot of people in the US, the cost of health insurance, the cost of having something fixed in your body if you don't have health insurance is ridiculous. So we don't know how lucky we are in this country. If you love what you do, it's not work. Exactly, Mike. Dave said he did his self-assessment today. A mixture of employed and self-employed. Not a massive year, but it's done. Well, it's done. I'm going to pay my bill in the next couple of days. It's due at the end of the month. I've already done my self-assessment, but I haven't paid all the bill up. It's due at the end of January. I will pay it now. There's no benefit to me not paying it now, whereas before I had all my tax money. I put in premium bonds, and it's been earning money for me over the course of the year. So that's why I don't pay the bill immediately. It earns money for me over the year, and then I pay the bill in the month that it's due. That's what I do, and that's what I would recommend most people do. I didn't used to do that. I used to be like really on the ball. I used to be like, I'm going to pay my bill as soon as I've done my tax return. I'm going to pay my bill, and then it's done. But little did I know, I was giving up money, tax-free money as well. Especially if you use premium bonds, it's tax-free earnings, and you can sit on that until you got to pay your bill, and then withdraw it at that point. 200 quid on the premium bonds this month. Wouldn't have got that if I'd have paid my tax bill early. Bad Wolf says, I've been selling on eBay for 12 years. I've never reached the salary I was on in my proper job, but the better quality of life is priceless. The low level of stress is worth it more than money. Yes, totally. It doesn't matter unless it matters to you that you've not reached that level yet. Took me a while, but maybe your level was higher than mine. Maybe it wasn't. Who knows? Everyone's different. Let's have a look. I married an American in Chicago. I could have had a green card, but the health insurance cost put me off. Oh, it's crazy, isn't it? Like, what is it? Sometimes £400 a month, or $400, $400 a month for health insurance, and it doesn't always pay it out, all of it. There's a lot of them have massive excesses, hundreds and hundreds of dollars excess before you even get a payout. Chris Tyler says, you missed something from your income video. You could have said you saved money when you asked for discounts at boot sales. I bet you saved a good £20 each trip. Chris, you're probably right. Yeah, every time I offered £4 on a £5 item. Ben says, do you think the changes in private selling on eBay will push private sellers towards getting a business account, or is it still functioning financially better? Well, it's a bit of a toss-up, isn't it, Ben? I think it will push some. I think those who want to have those added benefits of that the having a business account gives you, which allows you to have sales and coupons and all this kind of stuff, will move. But then people have to weigh up the fact that actually, yes, eBay have introduced all these new things against private sellers, but in favor of business sellers. But don't forget, the bottom line is a private seller still gets no fees on everything. So there might be all these, what, I don't know, can you call them sanctions? They're almost sanctions, aren't they? Oh, you're not going to get your money on time anymore. You have to wait for delivery proof. All the other things that eBay are sanctioning private sellers. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is there's no fees. And that's a big one. That's a big one. My fees for 2024, if you watched the video, actually, I don't actually say what my eBay fees are because I bunked it in with all the other expenses. But my actual fees for 2024 were about £12,000 to £13,000. But that includes all the fees that I pay: a shop fee, the final value fees, promoted listing fees, 12 to 13 grand. And the bulk of that, as a private seller, you can save. So it's a big chunk, apart from obviously, they're promoted and stuff like that. Hi, gentleman marketeer. Welcome. I am fairly chilly right now. I'm part-time, have a storage unit, but only costs £120 a month. That's good. I guess it depends how big it is. If it's a big one, that is good. If it's a little one, I don't know. I've never had to buy one, so I don't know if it's good or not, but it sounds all right. Vinyl Nuts says, Chris, did you say you are outshoring some of your listings? I'm thinking of going full-time again at 70. I'm getting, wow, 70. I'm using a VA at the moment, and there is a video coming. I've not filmed it yet, but it's in my book and it's coming up hopefully in a week or so. I need to make some notes and kind of make it half professional at least. But yeah, there's a video coming up. I'm using a VA at the moment, a virtual assistant. Cookie is fine apart from her cough, but yeah, she's okay. Oh, sorry, Chris Autospell. The amount you got back from using cashback sites. Oh, yes. 1.5 grand in 2024. I think that breaks down as about £300 of that is Quidco. And if you want to join Quidco and get some free money, we can both have some free money. I've got a link in my video below. In this video, you can use that link and sign up to Quidco and get some free money. I don't know if you get a tenner, a fiver, or something, but we both get the same. If you want to sign up, you can do. That's about £300, so not that much with that, but about £1,200 with complete savings. That's the one. That's the one that gives you pretty much 10% on a lot of sites. eBay, you buy on eBay, 10% cash back. You buy every parcels direct with every 10% cash back. You use Parcel to Go, 10% cash back. If you spend 30 quid on your parcels on every or Parcel to Go, you'll get 3 quid back in cash back, tax free in your bank account. Forget your business account, doesn't need to go in your business account. In your personal bank account, 3 quid if you spend 30 quid on one of those sites. 10%. So I would recommend looking at Quidco and at Complete Savings. Celia says, always better to do the job you... always better to love the job you do. Yeah. You know what? I never thought I would have a job that, I really love doing. Because all the jobs, like, have been jobs to me. I've enjoyed doing some of them at certain times. A lot of them, though, ends up being stressful, as normal. But this one, I do love doing it. There are times when it's shit, but like anyone's. But most of the time, I enjoy this job. Did the channel name change? Yes, it did, Count Henry. It is now Car Boot Chris rather than Cookie and the Haydens. DVD Fangirl, the NHS saved my life and was free. Absolutely blessed, totally to have it. It's absurd here in the US right now. I can believe it. And I know a few people in the US have told me what they pay for stuff like health insurance and or what happens if you don't have health insurance, and how then potentially you're in debt for the rest of your life, to pay for these things. Does not bear thinking about. I hope in my lifetime we never lose our NHS. There's a lot wrong with this country, but the NHS is not it. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you fall ill and you have to go to A&E, you might be sat there for 4, 5, 6 hours waiting to get seen. But I'd rather that than pay thousands of pounds to get seen. Jacob, Chris, any tips for new resellers? How does it work with being self-employed on paper or legal? Would you be able to touch base on that, please? Any tips for new resellers is start with your own stuff. Build up your feedback by selling your own stuff. Build up your income stream. Build up your cash flow. Sell your own stuff in your house. All the things around you that you don't want anymore. Sell all that first. That will help you build up a cash flow of stuff that has not really cost you anything. That's where I'd start. And also, if you have a stock room, a stock area, make sure you start off with a SKU system. Use that SKU box on eBay, on your eBay listing, so that you know where your items are. It's miles better to start like that than get 200-300 listings in and decide you want a SKU system. Then it's going to take you ages to sort that out. So start as you mean to go on. And if you can, part-time first, save up some money, make sure before you go full-time, try and get 3 to 6 months worth of money in the bank. Try and build that bank up, that bank account, so that if anything goes wrong or it takes you a bit longer to get up to speed as a full timer, that you've got money put aside to help you out and to pay your bills. There you go. Yeah, my self-assessment was done ages ago as well, Bad Wolf, but I didn't pay my bill. I paid whatever bill I was told to pay there and then, but I just pay whatever bill because I think it's like every 6 months you got a bill, haven't you? So I don't pay the bill until it's due in the month. And I never used to be like that, but now I make that money work for me before I hand it over. I think that's the best way. DVD Fangirl, I pay my self-assessment bill in June. Everyone's different. People want it out of the way. Me personally, I used to do that. I used to pay it straight up. As soon as I've done my self-assessment, I'll pay the whole lot. I'll just pay it now. I've got the money, I'll pay it. But now I put that money to work and I try and earn some money on it before I have to hand it over. Monkey Thrifted, just over 5 years ago, I was in hospital with pneumonia. I was in for nearly a month and got looked after amazingly. Nice one, Monkey. The Aussie Flipper is still doing car boots and t-shirts and shorts. I know, it's not fair, is it? Ian says, I earn a quarter of my last salary and I never have a day off, but working from home and answering to no one is all worth it. Absolutely, Ian. Yeah, totally. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I like this mug. It's one of my favourites. It's one of my favourites. Came from a car boot sale, that. Car boot Chris. There you go. Anyone having problems withdrawing their balances from Vinted? No, I've done 3 withdrawals this last week. I've suddenly had an influx of monies coming in from Vinted because as a pro seller, you have to wait 14 days from delivery now, don't you? So all of a sudden in the last week, I've had like 300 quid or something come through on it. So I've been fine. Fluffy says, my marker for how I'm doing financially while self-employed, I can afford to live my life. If yes, I'm doing just fine. Absolutely, Fluffy the Muffin. Nailed it there. But everyone wants different things. Some people just want to be millionaires. Some people want to be eBay millionaires. Some people want to earn as much as they possibly can, maybe to put it away for later in life. I don't know. Everyone's got different wants in this world and needs. Some people measure their success by how much money they've got in their bank. Thomas says, I don't know how you do all the work you did last year, Chris. I had my biggest sales weekend of 42 this weekend. That's good. And it took me all day to package them. It was boring. That's a good, though. 42 over the weekend. Excellent. Chris, I was surprised on Peter's live stream this morning about all the expenses he did not realize he could claim to reduce tax liability. Yeah, not everybody is aware, but he is now. So I'm sure he's going to sort of change the way he works. I think Peter's been very old school. He's accounted for things differently in the past, but I think he's come to realize that using QuickBooks is the future. And all the stuff that he's learned about, what he can claim for. It's all a learning curve. Not everybody's good at all that stuff. Took me a while to find out stuff as well. There's probably things I still, don't do right. Yep, private sellers will now pay fees. eBay are just calling it buyer protection. Well, private sellers not paying fees per se. It's the buyers who buy from private sellers, but buyers will pay the fee. But private sellers kind of getting punished for it. The thing about what eBay are claiming is buyer protection It's pretty much what they've always offered any buyer on the platform anyway, isn't it? It's not really any different, apart from they're saying that people can get 24-hour customer service on the phone. I think you could almost do that anyway. You know, I don't know, could you? But do you need to ring somebody so urgently at 3 in the morning to resolve a purchase that you've made on eBay? It's just they're just finding ways to make the charges, to find that shortfall of no fees for private sellers. They've got to fill that shortfall. Richard says, my tax return was done in October. No, don't pay the government any sooner than you have to. I'm of that mind now. I didn't used to be. I used to like to get it out of the way in those early years. But in the last few years, I definitely don't pay straight away. Shipping container 20 foot by 8 foot, no electric, literally 1 minute from my house. That's good. £120 a month for that. Gary says the NHS is our jewel in the crown. Did you end up selling the camper? Still got it? Still got it, Max. It's not a good time to sell campers in the middle of winter. No one wants them in this time of year. It is up for sale. And I'm going to ramp up the advertising come about March, when people are starting to think about Easter, summer, and they're going to start like making their buying decisions at that point. So unless somebody just comes out of the blue and says, makes me an offer on the van, that's fine. But I think at the moment, in general, winter's not a great time to be selling the vans. Most of the time, reselling doesn't seem like work, says the tap peddler. How far behind am I? About 8 minutes. Let's see if I can get down a bit. Oh, Dan suffers from bad depression in the It's horrible, isn't it? It really is. It gets me down. I wouldn't say I suffer from bad depression. I'm not going to say that, but certainly gets me down. I much prefer the summer months, the lighter evenings and the warmer weather. I really hate winter in the UK. I hate it. That's very kind of you. Thank you for that one. Give us a thumbs up. Yeah. It's not great. It's not great. It's complicated. I think it's unnecessarily complicated what eBay are doing with this. That's pretty much it. It's complicated. Did it really need to be this complicated? Probably not. Monkey Thrifter used Quidco from a house insurance. The price contents was only £39, but getting back 34 from Quidco as a no-brainer. Absolutely, that's good. Spent almost £70 with parcel to go today through Complete Savings, £7 cashback. Yes, get in there, Richard. Nice one. All in your own pocket as well. No tax to be paid on that. Thank you, Ian and Becca. Appreciate it. Tap Peddler, does your VA do the research as to what price items at? They can do, and sometimes they do, but I always do my own research. If I pay a bit more, they will research the price, but it's never right. It's like I always do my own research because I have my own pricing strategy in my head. It's like if you pay a VA, you've then got to tell them where you want to be in the pricing search. So you've got to make them understand, do you want to be the highest, the lowest, or in the middle? And then also VAs have, what I've noticed is that depending on where they are operating from, they don't always understand the pricing structure, because when they do their research, they might be looking at an item that's in the US. They'll see the US price and the US postage and then come to a conclusion that's not correct. So I never ask the VA to price for me. I always do that bit myself. But they do research the item for the title, for the description, for the item specific. So like if I'm, a lot of what they've done for me is sports jerseys. So I'll send them the pictures. They'll research the team. They'll find out what team it is, the player, and all this business. So they'll do all that research, but not the price. I don't really want them to do the price. Super Noodles. Have you ever seen the loan offers from eBay through ULend? I stupidly took one out without reading into it, and it's crippled my cash flow. Ah, downer, Super Noodles. I said, I know a few people have taken them out. Oh, that's a nightmare, isn't it? Oh, after you took it out, could you not have just paid it off and then it would have been like minimal interest, because you'd paid it off sooner? Can you not pay it off earlier? Ian and Becca says, I've tried to go full-time reseller multiple times, but I haven't been able to do it because of the insurance. Ah, downer. Yeah, I can imagine that's a big hit. DVD Fangirl, I never used a SKU system, only got about 60 items now after Christmas, but had over 500 and never really had a problem finding things yet. But it is somewhat categorized. Yeah, I was the same. Mine was categorized into categories basically. But yeah, mine was categorized, but there is a level, and probably 500 is it. It's like you don't really want to be having much more than that. Money's in the bank earning interest, exactly, yeah. Antoinette said, my husband ruptured the quadricep tendons in both legs playing football. Operated on the same day. He had an ensuite hospital room to himself. NHS sent him home with a hospital bed, wheelchair for free. That's brilliant. Isn't that good? Gary pays 120 a month for 400 square foot shipping container. Car group, Chris. I like that one. DVD Fangirl, I'm going to Vinted Pro soon, waiting on returning parcel to clear. Nice. Good luck. Dan, can you put most things through the books? Like what, Dan? There's a limit. It's got to be business related. You can't just put anything through the books. I only claim for fees, postage, and cost of items. I really need an accountant. They pay for themselves. I'm sure they would, yeah, but you don't always need an accountant. There's lots of ways you can find out what's an allowable expense. Live chat closes at 8 p.m. 9 p.m. at the moment. But who needs to ring eBay at 3 in the morning? Tell me that, Lisa. Who really needs it? Can it not wait till 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock tomorrow? Who needs to ring at that time to solve a problem? Nobody. Who can be asked with that? No one can be asked with that. Flipping Wolf still doing taxes with pen and paper. QuickBooks is not £30 a month, Wolf. I'm paying £12 a month. And also, if you sign up to the new Sole Trader that's out now, which is replacing Self-Employed, which I'm on, you can get 90% off for the next year. It works out £1 a month for the next year. It's definitely not £30. You don't need to spend that much on it. Yeah, I'm holding firm on the price. I've dropped it a little bit over the winter just to see if anybody wants to get a little bit of a cheaper van over winter. But other than that, I'm not dropping it anymore. It will stay at the price it is until spring, and then we'll ramp up the advertising. It's on Auto Trader at the moment. I've had it on eBay. I did have quite a bit of interest on eBay. Like sort of, when was it? Sort of September, October time, back end of summer. But the people who were interested never turned up to view the van, so it never happened. But yeah, mine's £12 a month, so yeah, there or thereabouts. It's not more than that. It's definitely not. You definitely don't need to be paying £30 a month, and it's worth every penny. By the way, even if it's £12 a month, it's worth every penny to make life so much easier. I've got it on Auto Trader. I've got it on. It refreshes in February, I think. It will end and start again, but I've paid for list until sold, so it cost me more to do that, but it was worth it. So I will. I will refresh it on its next. I think it's is it after 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months? After one of those, it refreshes. You have to start it again, but because I paid one fee, it stays up. But yeah, it will get refreshed. I'll move the photos around and stuff. I collect them, guys. That's my collection of tikis. I've got quite a few now. Dan says, hot topic, sell a variety of items. Things we thought we would sell well didn't, and the opposite happened with items that we weren't sure about, but they sold really well. Yeah, I always think it's a good idea to sell a variety. Some people swear by niching down, and I can totally understand that. Be a master of not what's the phrase? Master of none. What is it? Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember it. Jack of all trades, master of none. Maybe you should be a master of one. I like selling all sorts. It keeps your options open. So when you're at boot sales, when you're shopping online, when you're in the charity shops, you're not just looking for one category. You can pick up anything. And I think it's the best way to be. But if you're an expert in something, that's also great. Dan says, my partner has had 2 new knees and chemo in the last 5 years. That would have bankrupted us in America, yeah. Unless you had an amazing health insurance policy, which probably would have cost you hundreds and probably wouldn't have paid for every penny of that. You would have had to pay a big contribution yourself as well. Lacquer's in, welcome. eBay should tell people to go back to sleep if they phone at 3:30. Exactly. 10-minute accounts is the best eBay accountancy software specifically designed for eBay. Interesting. I've not heard of that one, Lacquer. Not heard of it, but most of us don't just operate on eBay though. So, I don't know if that would be an issue with 10-second accounts, 10-second accounts, 10-minute accounts. There you go. Bad Wolf would love to ring at 3 a.m. Go back to bed, Bad Wolf. Jesus. Come on. Imagine ringing eBay at 3 a.m. and you got, like somebody in this country or in the UK rather than abroad. You'd be like, oh, what the fuck do you want at this time? Fuck off. Sorry for the language, by the way. Richard says, is it easy to transfer it all over from self-employed to sole trader? I believe, Richard, I've been told by Aaron, the QuickBooks chap, that QuickBooks are working on a transfer tool so that for those who want to move over to sole trader, it can all just be transferred across in a seamless manner. And that would be amazing if they can do that. And apparently they're working on it. As we speak, hopefully that is something that will come out because I want to change at the start of this financial year to sole trader because at the moment now that's it for QuickBooks Self-Employed. People can no longer buy it and also it's no longer supported. So if you need support with self-employed right now, you're screwed. There's no longer supported. So we're all going to have to switch to sole trader, but I'm hoping, fingers crossed, they come up with this transfer tool and that'll be great. Steve, QuickBooks question. Don't you need Link My Books as an add-on? Not as far as I'm aware. I don't use it. I don't even know what Link My Books is. What does it do? A lot. What? 37 in tonight. Welcome, everybody. Considering leaving quick self-employed, but I'm aware deleted debt after so long, non-eBay related who's tied and their accounting isn't too bad for the moment for a limited company. Fair. But I would hang fire because sole trader is out and like I said before, that's it. Thank you, Max Smith. Like I said before, there is a tool coming out so that you can transfer, hopefully, to Sole Trader very easily. Ed's got a good point here. Niching down makes reselling so boring. If I was selling just clothes, I would have given up long ago. Selling everything keeps things interesting and learning, because that's really important as well, isn't it? To keep learning. Problem is, if you ring at 3 a.m., you probably aren't going to get a decent offer. Probably. Yeah. Could do. And our neighbour has an empty garage. We're in a flat. I'm going to make her an offer to rent it. That's a great idea, Dan. Yeah, absolutely. I'd do that. Totally. Peter's in. I got 90% QuickBooks offer. Early days. Recommend it. It gives me peace of mind that I'm using some design for accounts. Good point. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. You can work whenever you like when you're self-employed. Yeah, absolutely. Retro electronic. The full saying is jack of all trades, master of none, though oftentimes better than master of one. I think that is the full saying. Yeah, I'm going to make the switch. I'm just hoping that they put this tool out before April so that we can do the transfer. Because yeah, I would rather just transfer everything across and have all my historic stuff on the same app. I'd rather that than have self-employed just sat there because it's got all my old stuff on it, and then have sole trader. I'd like to have all of it on one, really, which would be the ideal. Steve, I thought Link My Books was needed to convert the eBay data. Clearly, I'm mistaken. No, you don't need to. You can convert your own eBay data. You can do your weekly payout downloads and extract all the information you need from that. Is Chris on dial-up? Am I on dial-up? Is it not good, guys? Bit laggy. Great. Breaking up. It's laggy. Is it gone to rat shit? I'm on like 800 meg or 900 megabytes. It's probably you lot just asking questions all the time. It's probably lagged me. How does QuickBooks calculate income from eBay? You have to do that calculation yourself. Obviously, you get like for me, I get a weekly payout from eBay. So I get one transaction for free. Well, for free, kind of. I get that one transaction coming in from the weekly payout. So say, for example, tonight, I get £1,000 from eBay. So that's my payout from eBay, £1,000. What I then have to do is, all I'll do tomorrow morning is I will download the weekly payout. I put it into a spreadsheet that Aaron gave me, and it spits out two numbers. It gives me what my fees were for the last week. So say £200 on fees, and it will give me the exact same number of the uplift income amount, which will be exactly equal to the fees, £200. And then I put those two numbers into QuickBooks. So each week when there's a payout, there's three numbers going to QuickBooks: the weekly payout, the fees, and the sales uplift, which is equal to fees. They're the three numbers every single week that go into my QuickBooks account. And that's what you have to do. So many people make the mistake of missing out the uplift and missing out the fees and just accounting for their weekly payout, and that is way wrong. You are screwed if HMRC ever check your accounts, if anyone does it like that. I actually saw somebody on TikTok, right? There was a lady on TikTok, and she was going on saying, here's how I do my accounting. It's dead easy. Here's my spreadsheet. And she showed us a spreadsheet, and I'm thinking, ain't nothing on there about fees. So basically, she's accounting for her payout, but not accounting for fees. I was so tempted to make a comment, but I couldn't be asked, because then that would require me to then explain to her how wrong she's doing it. But yeah, I saw this video. I just thought, no, let's not go there. No. And everyone was like, "Oh, can I get your spreadsheet? It's amazing." But she's clearly doing it wrong. Does that sound mean that I didn't write on it? But just once you go down that rabbit hole of telling somebody that they might be doing it wrong, it just becomes a major arseache. Because then she'll probably deny it and say, "Oh, yeah, I'm actually doing it right, and you're wrong." And then you get into an argument. It's like, okay, whatever. Yeah, flat rate, 7.5%, and I think you get it at 1% less for a period as well, like 6.5% for a year or something like that when you first do it. It's not bad at all. It's not too bad. I say not bad. It's another 7.5% on your bloody income in it, but it's not too bad. Working it out is difficult. You will need an accountant to sort out your VAT. It's not the end of the world. Stop streaming all those tap peddler videos. Is everything okay now with the stream? Are we back to normal? DVD Fangirl, I use Google Sheets. One with purchases, costs, one with listings, and final one for sales that I copy and paste over from listings. Add the fees, final price, profit, etc. Fair enough. Fair enough. You sound as choppy as the North Wales coastline. Pretty choppy right now. When do sales pick up in the new year? Sometimes January's been pretty good historically. So normally February's probably a really bad month. Yeah. Yeah, it is amazing. So many people do it. February and March usually show for the slow for the tap peddler. Jeff's nearly missed the whole show. Yeah, I know. You're an hour in, Jeff. Where have you been? Where's your loyalty? Huh. It's fine. Still sound like a mank. I'll always be a mank. No lagging now. Must have been you lot. Richard's fine, so it must be you lot. I can definitely second the person that suggested Tide. I've found them to be excellent. Their banking and accounting is all integrated into a single system. That's good. It's good that you find something that works. Before I used QuickBooks, I used one called Wave Accounting, and it was all right for my first few years. And then when I found QuickBooks, it was like I never looked back after that. QuickBooks, though, can be glitchy. It's not always perfect. Sometimes it's a bit glitchy, but on the whole, pretty good. You can normally fix the glitches. Sometimes people do overcomplicate the tax, yeah. From watching YouTube videos on total turnover, it's looking like you take about 70% to 80% to get your actual take home. Well, everyone's different, Dan. You can't, everyone's different. You'll be different when you figure it out yourself. But yeah, people work on different margins, so it's very hard to do a blanket. Mine's about 39%. I don't know I can't remember if I said it in the video or not. I did, didn't I? Did I say it was like between 38 and 40? I think it's 39% mine is profit margin, which I think is pretty good, but I want to be in the 40s, which is very, very difficult to do, but I'm going to try. Question from DVD Fangirl. Can you claim costs back this tax year from an item bought last tax year? Didn't put it down as plan to keep, but I think I can make some good money. New Series 1 and 2 Stranger Things 4K Blu-rays. Can you claim the costs back? I would think that would be difficult because your original purchase receipt would show the last tax year, so that would be when you bought it. So therefore, but the thing is, if you're operating on a cash basis, like that item that you're now wanting to sell has already been purchased in the previous year. So you just leave it there, and it's only now that it's coming to fruition with profit. So it doesn't really matter what year it goes in. And also, you wouldn't want to change it, because if you've already put your tax return in for the last year, then you're going to mess up your tax return, because then it won't be right then, even though you've already submitted it. So I wouldn't worry about any of that stuff. I would see it as it's gone down as an expense in the past. It's already come out of my business. Now this is showing profit. A lot of this stuff here, or most of my collection, is paid for by the business. Not all of it, but some of it is. It's like I might buy a job lot of pops. Look at all these up here. I might buy a job lot of pops to sell, and I'll keep 2 of them, and I'll put them up here. This is almost like a live stock room in here. It's almost a live stock room. So a lot of this stuff has been paid for out of previous year's tax returns, but has never been sold. I've never listed it, but it's here. And then now and again, I'll pick things out of my collection and sell it. But what it does is it comes straight back into my business account. It doesn't go in my personal account, because this is paid for by the business. So it comes back into my business account, but it will just come back in as an income. It doesn't matter what year you purchased it. So maybe you're thinking about it in the wrong way round. It's like if what you're saying is how I'm understanding it, it doesn't really matter when, what year it came out of. If anything, that's better for you this year, because you're going to show an income for that item and no outgoing for it. So that's even better, because that's going to show your profit as being better. Santa's been catching up on some sleep. I don't blame you for that one. Where's Belle? She is having a rest tonight. Have you heard of Pandal for accounting? Free or a £5 a month for the upgraded? Any good? Never heard of it, Kez. I can't say anything about that one. Excuse me. I'm still not right, but I'm getting there. Yeah, tax returns are very quick. Even when you use QuickBooks, dead easy. 20 minutes, done. I've reported all those sales figures to our local tax office. Please do, Mr. Taxman. Yeah, it is possible to adjust the previous year, but I would use an accountant to. Yeah, that's the problem. You start getting into, you've already submitted and paid your tax on the previous year. It's not a good idea, I don't think, to start messing with it unless it's something big. Like I said before. Yeah, I think you might be right, Max. It's them lot are on a dial-up, not me. Oh, I'll buy sets, Dan. I'll buy sealed sets, but I'm not interested in open sets. I can't be bothered checking them. Monkey Thrifter, due to the weather where I live, I cannot get into my unit, and unless we have a heat wave tonight, I have orders to go out tomorrow, but don't think I can get in. What's the best way around this? Get the fire brigade out, Peter. Get them to break in for you. There's not a lot you can do about that. You need to get into your unit. My partner Stacy just commented how it's good you all give out this free advice to your subscribers. Well, we all give out advice in the chat, don't we? It's not just me. But yeah, I appreciate the comment. If I can help people, I will. That's the whole point. Thing about human nature is most of the time we want to help people. We want to dish out our pearls of wisdom. We like doing that as a human race. That's what we do. We like to give our two pennies worth to give out a piece of advice. That's what we like to do as a general rule, and I'm no different. If anyone needs any help, they can always contact me, and I'll do my best. Tap Peddler says if it's been accounted for, it doesn't matter when it was accounted for. If cash based, exactly that, Derek. A lot of my stuff is from previous years, but sell exactly. Yeah, this is the thing, DVD Fangirl. Yeah, don't worry that it's accounted for in a previous year. It's accounted for, and when you're using cash basis, which I'm pretty sure that you will be, it makes no odds. It's been and gone out of your system, and now the profit's coming back. Doesn't matter when. Half the stuff in this room has already gone out. It's already been paid for. One day it's going to come back into the business. I'm going to sell it all, and I'll be in the profit. One year I'll have a great profit year because of all this, because I've already paid for it in previous years. DVD Fangirl, here we go. It was a personal buy, so never put it through the business. Just paid £55 and seen sold for over 100. As the last season out this year, though, it might. Oh, well, if it's never gone through the business and it's a personal thing, you can sell that to the business if you want. You could sell it to your own business if you really want to, or you could donate it to your business and then put the money in. But you could pay yourself for it. You could invoice yourself for it if you wanted to. Oh, absolutely. If it's never hit any of your accounts, then yeah, you can put it through now. Definitely. And Bad Wolf has got another good point as well. You could also just sell it on a private account because it's your personal stuff. And because because the intention when you bought it, DVD Fango, was that was for you, for your own personal benefit, nothing to do with the business. You can sell it legitimately, put the money in your personal account. Any profits can go in your personal account. You don't need to account for it. You don't need to make a note of it. It is yours to sell. Doesn't have to go through your business. There are certain things in here that are mine that I paid for, and when I sell them, they will go back in my own personal pocket. So yeah, it's all about the intention when you buy it. If you intentionally buy it to resell and make a profit, then it goes through the business. If at the time you bought it for yourself, you paid for it out of your own money, you can then sell it and put it back into your own profit. It doesn't need through your business. Stu says, remember, cash is tax free. That's what my plumber tells me. Nice. There you go. Problem solved, DVD Fangirl. Wow, I'm at the bottom of the chat. So eBay's biggest change in years, hasn't it? This whole thing with the private sellers. Is there anybody here who's currently a private seller on eBay, but following the announcement is planning on switching to be a business seller? Is there anybody here in that boat? Let us know in the chat and let us know what your thought process is about it. Is there anybody here who is currently using a private account, willing to talk? And where there's no judgment here. As I say in my Discord, we don't judge each other. Everyone does what they want to do. I don't care what people operate on. I don't care if they operate on private or business. I can only say what you should do according to the rules, but you do what you like. Let us know if you're in the private boat and what you think of the changes that are heading your way early February. What are you going to do about it? Let me know in the chat and we'll have a little chat about that one. Talking of personal items, I'm starting to put my personal collectibles through eBay. What I do is put the item cost down as what I originally paid for it, loss or profit. Fair dues. But if it's your own personal items, you can just sell it on a personal account and put the money in your personal bank account. You don't need to go into a business for it. If your intention originally was to buy it for yourself, then that is fine. The government do not have a right to that money or the taxes on that money. Have you seen the eBay community boards? Loads of private sellers kicking off about the changes. They weren't kicking off in October when they got the free. Exactly. Yeah, that is true. Outnumbered. Yeah. Yeah, everyone was really happy about that. They're going to last because eBay can't just give free fees and not claw that money back somewhere. It was never going to last. It always felt like it was a temporary measure. It felt like it was a reaction to Vinted to try and claw back some customer base from Vinted and also to boost the platform over the Christmas period. So, yeah, I don't think it was ever going to last. There was always going to be big changes. I must admit, I thought we were going to see more zero fees across the board, not just private and business. And I thought we were going to see more buyer protection fees across the board rather than the split that they did. The split feels very complicated, but that's the way they've gone. If it stays like that, I don't know. Maybe they'll test it. If it doesn't work, they'll change it. We'll see. Marketing ploy, says Dig Vintage, to get more sellers. Possible. A little sweetener before the real intent was revealed. Yeah, I think you're right there. Thrift Up says, I'm in the private boat, and in all honesty, I've never been in the region for ever needing to go the business route. However, looking at last year's sales, I'm now certainly in that region. Okay. So are you thinking about switching based on this update, based on the stuff that's coming out in February? Are you thinking about switching across? The thing is, eBay will force it at some point anyway. Like when you hit a threshold, or when you hit an income number, eBay are going to email you and say, right, now you got to change. So you could carry on for as long as you feel like you can get away with. You could carry on until you get that email. But by all accounts, I think a lot of private sellers are finding that they are receiving those emails to tell them to switch. I think eBay are clamping down on it quite a lot. Geordie Reseller says, I'm in the private boat, but offer 14 day returns is that and pay my taxes, but I don't sell full time. What's your plan, Geordie Reseller? Right? Do you think you'll end up shifting to a business account, or are you happy to stick and just take the negatives that are coming with this one? Because at the end of the day, you still got free fees, and that's a big positive. That's probably a bigger positive than all the negatives that they're about to add on. See what you buy said, as many have said, the eBay changes for private sellers have been pretty much put costs back into how they were before the free listings, i.e. about 14% fee, renamed as buyer. I think the buyer protection fee is 4%. I think that's what it is, 4%, if I remember rightly. So it's not quite the same, but there's other benefits for eBay in that they get to hold your money for a lot longer. So potentially they're earning interest on that money whilst you wait for it to be paid out, and a few other little bits and bobs. Vinyl Nuts, did you see this, Chris? How buyer protection fee works? The fee will be included in the item price from private sellers, yeah? So there are no surprises at checkout. Buyers will pay, yeah, up to 4%. I think it's pretty much 4%, and then it's slightly different on higher value stuff. The item price plus 75p. For example, when they see an item for £20, the fee of £149 will already be a part of the price. The fee is lower on higher priced items over £300, and there's a cap. Yeah, I've seen that. Thank you for sharing. It is a big step, yeah, and it can be a bit scary on the tax thing, yeah. Thrift Up says, not I wouldn't be planning on switching because of the updates, but more about legalities, not to mention the judgments from other resellers. Fair enough. Yeah, there's the difference. There's a difference in that they're not recouping everything, just using the buyer protection fee. So, yeah, if the item is over £300, it's 2%. There's not gonna be many of those though, is there? I wouldn't have thought. Geordie says, "I'm not moving across to a business account unless I have to, but I only have about 100 listings." Fair enough. Yeah, it's a funny old game, innit, the old eBay? Don't you think it's weird, though? I mean, I had a conversation with eBay, before Christmas. They did a call with me, and I'm pretty sure they did a call with a few other resellers as well, some of the YouTubers, because they wanted, opinions on how we thought this change was gonna be received, and what my opinions of it were as a business seller. And my feedback to eBay on that day was, firstly, it's I'll take it as a business seller because prior to that, we really did feel a bit victimized as business sellers. Like we felt like we were getting a really rough deal. Like there was no benefits to being a business seller. And I said to eBay that I felt like, although it wasn't great, I'll take it because it's a small benefit for us as business sellers than what there was previously. So yeah, I said, okay, I'll take it. But I did say I felt like it was complicated and I felt like it was potentially like unnecessary. And also, like, is it going to drive buyers away from the platform in general? That was my question to them. Do you think that this fee, although it might mean that people don't buy from private sellers quite as much, will they just leave the platform rather than buy from somebody else? I don't know. And how will this look on a search result? So when someone searches for a group mug and it comes up at £15 and there's a mixture of business and private sellers in the results stream, how's it going to look? How will someone know? Are people just going to order it into price and then they'll just go with whatever price they want? You know, how's that going to look? That was my feedback to eBay. I'm like, okay, I'll take it because it's a small win for business sellers, but it's very complicated. Did it really need to be this complicated? Um, and they took that on board, but they also said that they were keen to redress the balance. They said to me that they found that the backlash after they did the zero fees for private sellers was massive from the business community. They felt it, they understood the reasons, and they wanted to redress the balance a little bit so that it felt like being a business seller wasn't a negative. And I think they have done some of that, but I think they have done it in a complicated kind of way. I don't think it needed to be this complicated. I don't know who else received a call from eBay, but I got one before Christmas. I wasn't allowed to discuss it. They made me sign an NDA to say that I wouldn't discuss with anybody, what they were about to talk about, even though the day after it appeared in the Sun. It wasn't 100% correct, but it did appear in the Sun. A lot of the information was correct. Um, there you go. It's nice to have a part in that consultation process, but it was happening whether I said it was a good idea or not. No, who's going to listen to Car Boot Chris and whatever other YouTubers got consultated on it? Not going to listen to us. I think they wanted more. They wanted more the feedback about the reaction and how the emails read, and did we understand it? Do you think people were going to receive it and understand it? That was more of what they were looking for, but it was still very interesting to have that conversation. Let's just go back to the chart. Let's see. Always outnumbered. Don't worry. All the people that aren't paying tax will get found out. eBay will need tax information from all accounts by December 2025. That will be an interesting time in the reselling community. Probably, yeah. All these numbers and figures makes this one of my favorite live streams. Jeff, you are a sado, officially. I watched a video today where it said if a private seller lists at £20, the 149 will be added, so the price shown will appear as 21.49. If they want it to appear as £20, they have to list at a lesser price. Yes, I believe that that is the way it will be. It will show, like if you list them at 20, it will show at, you know, the actual price. I believe that is how it's going to look. It all will be revealed on February the 4th, and will be interesting to see how these things appear. I had an email from eBay to book a call with an account manager. Feels like a waste of time, but I've done a couple of those, Ed. It's always worth a chat. A lot of the times they'll tell you the same stuff, but now and again they might give you something. And I always like to keep on the side of eBay. If they want to talk to me about something, I'll talk to them. If they want my feedback, I'll give them my feedback. If they offer something for free, like a consultation with a account manager, I would take it. Even though I feel like my account's okay, someone might give me an idea on something. I would take that. I would definitely take that call, Ed. I still don't think eBay are doing enough. There is more to come, Lisa. I am actually not privy, NDA or not. I'm not privy to what is to come this year. But in 2025, eBay told me they are going to make more changes this year that will benefit their business sellers. That is to come. We don't know what it is. I can't even speculate because who knows? I thought we'd see some zero fees, but we've not seen that. The clothing fees have gone back on now. You know, that lasted a couple of months. So there's more to come this year. I don't even think I can speculate on it. I don't even have a clue. Maybe if I had one guess at what it might be, perhaps an overhaul of shop subscriptions. That's just a guess. Nobody's told me anything about that. But that seems to me the area that probably needs a bit of a change is a shop subscription model that they currently have. Maybe that's an area that could change. Ready Steady says, Chris, I actually have a complicated decision to make regarding the eBay changes. I'm looking to restart reselling soon. Wanted to ramp up on my private account, but not sure now. Only you can make that decision. You can do. You know, you can do. It's choice. I can't decide that one for you. DVD Fangirl, do you know if you can switch EU off for certain sales on eBay? Just think I'm getting some brand new items in April, so we'll be under the GSPR. Oh, okay. I was just going to switch EU off for them for a few items only. Oh, that's a good question, that DVD Fangirl. When you list it, you could turn off international. Yeah. On those specific items. So, like, especially, yeah, you can turn off. You can just have UK. You could just have UK sales for those. But don't forget, if you turn off international and just have UK, you're also turning off USA, Australia, and the other areas of the world if you do that. But yeah, you could do that. You don't need to use business policies for that. You could literally list something and turn off all international. You could use business policies. I hate business policies. Ball ache, so I don't use them, but you could go down that route. But in the listing process, you could turn off all international very easily. I have 2 units full of stuff, a mixture of personal items and items purchased in 2022 to sell when I was starting up full time. Don't know which way to go now. I'm finding it stressful deciding. Um, well, you know the choices. Like, you understand the choices. So therefore, it's just down to a personal choice from on your part. Just be prepared, though, that you could start on a personal account and eBay could identify you as a business and tell you anything. It's totally up to you. It's your choice. eBay could have 3 options: private, business, or store, which would solve a lot of the debate. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Maybe that was what could happen. I'm on a private account, sell lots of small value items, so I'm knackered. I'm now lowering my prices to try and sell everything before the 4th of Feb. I'll look to go back to buying and selling gold. Fair enough, Thomas. Yeah. It's going to be difficult for the smaller value, lower value items for sure. Christmas. Zebu says, I think they should just do a fixed percentage for all. I think they should. Personally, I think they should have found a solution across the board to make it simple. It does overcomplicate it. They should have found a percentage for all. For business sellers, you pay a shop subscription, which gives you business benefits, coupons, sales, packaging, a storefront so that you're a business, so that you can represent yourself as a business, and a certain number of listings included in that. Just like that's the enhancement. You pay for a store, it gives you an enhanced business experience. And they probably should have just gone for a flat fee across the board. Maybe just reduce the fees rather than be 0, 5%. Everything 5%. Why don't they just keep it simple? But then make business sellers buy a shop like they do now. Every business seller has to have a store. And this is what you'll get for having a store. You'll get access to all these extra business benefits. A private seller won't get those benefits because they're not buying a store. And they're not allowed to have a store because they're a private person. They don't need a store because they're private. Keep it simple. That's what I would have done. My feeling is that eBay makes most of its money from VAT-registered businesses, so they should make it free for all non-VAT paying sellers. That would keep it straightforward and fair for all. Oh, there's so many different options, isn't there? There really is. It's not a small win for business sellers. Private sellers are not paying this fee. The buyer is, and it's incorporated in the listing price. They probably won't even realize it. Oh no, they won't realize they're paying it. But what they will see is if a private seller is selling this mug for £15 and a business seller is also selling this mug for £15, when it comes up in a search result, it's going to cost the buyer. It's going to appear to cost the buyer more if they buy it from the private seller than if they buy it from the business seller. So it's going to appear to cost the as a private seller, it's going to look like it costs, say, 15, 16 pound. Say that, I don't know, £16.50. But as a business seller, it's still going to £15. So therefore, if someone searches it in lowest to highest, business seller could appear on top of private seller unless a private seller identifies these charges and decides to start undercutting business sellers, which they could do. They could list things cheaper to account for these percentages, which is perfectly fine because at the end of the day, they've got no fees. Therefore, private sellers could afford to sell things a bit cheaper. But there is small benefits for business sellers in regards to that. Also, there is small wins for business sellers because private sellers won't be able to do promotional stuff. Some promotional stuff is not available to private sellers on come the 4th of Feb, whereas it will be available to business sellers. So there is some small wins there for us. We get extra facilities to try and sell our shit, basically. I'll be honest with you, when I'm buying something on eBay, I ain't got a clue if I'm buying from a private or a business seller. Sometimes it's obvious if there's a logo or a business name there, but I couldn't give two monkeys where it comes from. If the listing's good, the photos look good, and it's an item I want, I'll buy it and I don't care who it comes from. So I think the same will apply when this change comes in. And like anything, price is always key. So when buyers are looking for this mug and they put it in price order, they might find that private sellers are further down the list than business sellers if things are listed at a similar price. Yes, I agree with that one. They do need to make the listing process easier. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen. I think they've made it so complicated over the years. Everything's now integrated with Google, so that's complicated things. And I don't think it's going to happen. It is what it is now. If anything, it's getting worse, especially with the GPSR stuff. Yeah, that's what I would have done. If they said to me, "You come up with a fair plan for everybody," I'd have gone 5%. I'd have upped it from 0, but lowered it for some of the others. 5% across the board on everything. Just stop messing about. And then when you, in the future, in 2 years' time, when you say, "Oh, we're going to increase our fees," just increase it by 0.5%, 5.5% now on eBay. And just make businesses pay for those extra benefits of having a shop. It makes sense to charge us to have a shop front. I'm happy to pay for a shop front. I'm a business. I like my business to have a shop front, even though it doesn't really do anything. But I like that. I like to be able to put sales on. I like to be able to do promotions, coupons, promoted listings, and all the other little newsletters, social media stuff. I like to do all that stuff because I'm a business and it's useful. And I want to sell stuff, so therefore I like that stuff. So I'm happy to pay a bit more for that. But other than that, everything else should just be the same. Will follow the lifestyle it's allowed me to have outside the rat race, but the way they've implemented this it is messy. It is. That's what I said to them before Christmas. I said it feels really messy and complicated. It doesn't need to be this complicated. Vinyl Nuts, I was lucky, Chris. I was selling soundtrack CDs from the 2000 around the world on eBay, which I could pick up new for 50p to £1 and selling them for 10 to £20. Nobody wanted them in the UK and retired at 58. Amazing, Vinyl Nuts. There was a period when CDs appeared to be worthless to everybody, but if you knew what you're doing, look at Jason T. Smith in the US, a friend of mine, and he absolutely smashes it buying CDs and vinyls and tapes and cassettes from thrift stores for next to nothing. He absolutely smashes it. Oh, can you do individual countries as well, Richard, at time of listing? I couldn't visualize it in my head. I can see the bit of postage where you've got domestic and international. I can see that in my head, but then I can't see further. But if you can do that, then that's awesome. That's a good point, Leanne, actually. Yes. So, going back to DVD Fangirl, if you list those brand new items and you don't fill in the GPSR stuff, eBay will just hide them. So you don't actually need to do anything. You can leave everything turned on. eBay will hide the ones that aren't allowed, and they'll send you an email that says, if you want these to be visible in Europe and Northern Ireland, you need to fill in X, Y, and Z. So there you go. I completely forgot about that. Leanne. So well done for bringing that up. Perfect. I don't use business policies. Absolute nightmare. I never use them. Horrible things. They are the devil's work. And there's no two ways about it. Abolish all business policies. Make that process simple. Geordie says my sales have been poor since the 9th of December. Hardly sold anything. Even had a Christmas tree returned for for God's sake. That's all you need to come back, innit? Sorry to hear that. Fingers crossed things start improving. I've had a shitty week this last week. It's been crap. What have I done today on eBay? Have I done any sales while we've been on here? I actually sold something while we've been on here. Oh, so 2 things. Oh, that's nice. I've had a good day today, guys. I've had a good day. Scratch that. Let me tell you what I've done today on the bay. I'm all about transparency now. You can ask me whatever numbers you want now. Where's my sales graph gone? It's vanished. Today, I say I've had an amazing day. It's been a distinctly average day, but I'll take it. £154.94p on the bay today. So not too bad. Not too bad. But as a week as a whole, the week hasn't been great. But I haven't had any no sales days, so that's good. The worst day was New Year's Day. I only did £27.98 on New Year's Day, which was a bit pants, really, wasn't it? I think that was like 1 sale or 2 sales. It was a bit of a pants day, that. Where's my StreamYard gone? There it is. Wait, she knows. What does that mean? A letter in the post? Did you do much on Whatnot last year? You have more shows planned this year? I did about 13 grand on Whatnot last year. 14 grand, actually, on Whatnot last year. So not too shabby. I'm thinking about Whatnot right now. I'm thinking whether I just put more time into Vinted than Whatnot. I might slow down on Whatnot and put more time into Vinted. That's what I'm thinking. I think the hype on Whatnot is dead. Still a lot of people doing all right on Whatnot. There you go. Yeah, I couldn't work it out in my head. I'm not that clever. Don't know about that one. Hooves and paws. Yeah, the shop subscriptions are weird across the world. Like Australia, France, Germany, US, UK, all very, very different shop subscriptions. There's literally nothing similar about them. Business policies are a lifesaver. Hate them. Absolutely hate them, Peter. They are the devil. Nice one. Cheers, Thrift Up. I wonder if private sellers will kick off about having to use the simple delivery managed system eBay will suggest the correct parcel size. The thing is, I bet they're gonna force people down that route, aren't they? Because then they're gonna say, well, this is how your items are gonna get tracked and paid out on delivery. So I think they're gonna force people down that route. Best day of the past 30 days was the 31st of December. Worst day was the 30th. Let me look at mine, Derek. I'm intrigued now. My best day of the last 30 days was Wednesday, the 18th of December. My worst day was Sunday, the 22nd of December. There you go. That's mine. Do you think that all the eBay adverts for selling being free was a waste of? Well, it is free. though, isn't it? Still, it's still free. That on eBay, completely free. So not really a waste. Yes, thank you, Taxman, for keeping that record. I shall pay you later. I listened to a podcast featuring another UK reseller. They were doing 10K a week on whatnot. I totally believe it. The likes of John, Luke, and Charlotte. I mean, I can't remember. They quoted me a number when we did the podcast. John, Luke, and Charlotte told me what their number was. I can't remember, but it was bloody impressive. But also, don't forget, you don't know what the cost of doing that business is. You don't know what people's profit margin is. That's the difference. It still could be great, but John, Luke, and Charlotte are doing amazing on whatnot. I mean, their turnover on whatnot is incredible, but they've hit a really brilliant niche where they're doing really well. I can't fault them for it. Another +1 for business policies. Go away, Derek. Horrible things. How long do you keep proof of postage receipts for? Do you keep paper or photograph? I just put them all in a big box, Kez, those receipts. They go in, see in the little cupboard under there, they go in there. Very rarely have to go and look for them. I hate them, Richard. I mean, you need to tell Derek not to touch them because they are the devil's work. I hate them with a passion. Real and Retro's in. Wow. Mini Club. You've missed loads, and I'm sure you're probably going straight to bed right now. Chris, I have a link to a really good article about it. We'll send you the link on Insta. It's about the new UK postage system, but on the USA site and well explained. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Thank you, Leanne. Boo to business policies. You're all nuts. You're all absolutely nuts. Right. Where are we up to? It's 1 hour 43 in. Belle's snoring away. I can hear her in the background. And it's probably time to crack on. Before we do that, I need to say thank you so much to all our channel members, all going down the bottom of the screen here. If you're one of our channel members, it's $2.99 a month. I only get £2 of that. You know, I'm not going to be a millionaire off it, but all that is so that I can administrate and manage our Discord, which is a great little group of like-minded resellers. All these people, mostly resellers. There are a few non-resellers though. All these people are in our Discord group, and we all help each other out when we need it. We all share stuff. We share pickups. We share bolos. We talk about reselling. Whatever you want to chat about, we can talk about it. And everybody is a really nice person, and we don't judge each other, and we don't troll each other, and you can talk about things privately without it being in a public forum, and don't be afraid to ask questions. And that is our little Discord group, our membership, which you can join if you really want to here on YouTube. $2.99 a month, less than a coffee. Unless you go to Greg's, and then it's more than a coffee. And what else? I need to thank you to Keith Pitco, who's not here, who's provided the last 2 weeks worth of duck race prizes, and they've gone unclaimed. 2 duck race prizes unclaimed. So it's going to roll over again tonight. Now, please God, whoever wins the duck race tonight, please can you claim your prize so that we can move on and get another duck race prize in for tonight. But yeah, Keith Pitco's prize tonight. And please claim it. We're all going to lots of trouble to provide prizes. So please claim your prize. Thank you, Antoinette. Appreciate it. No trolling, no judgment. Jeff attempts to contribute humour. Right. No. Thank you. No. Done that. We've covered loads tonight, haven't we? Whatever you wanted to chat about, we covered it. And that is the whole point of doing our hot topics on a Monday night. You talk about what you want to talk about. We are now going to talk about the duck race. We're not going to talk about it. We're going to do the duck race. The coming up. They keep changing the layout of StreamYard in the studios. So is that it? Yeah. Okay. Don't anyone thumbs up. No one thumbs up. So... No, yeah. Easy. Going. Duck race coming up. Here we go. Let's share the screen. How many ducks do we have in the race? We have 53 ducks in tonight's race. 53. Let's not start the race without a schoolboy error. Stacey says, I was thinking of starting out, but don't make much, or I'm not successful, then I'm going to pay business fees, etc. Not worth the hassle unless I know it will definitely work. Well, what came first, the chicken or the egg? You got to start somewhere. Just start on a small scale. Start as a private seller. Just start small and just see how it goes. Right. Share the screen. Let's crack on with this duck race. 15 people have left since we started the duck race. Is it that shit that people just want to leave before we do this duck race? Here we go. We're off. 53 ducks in the duck race tonight. There's a real mixture here we can see as the ducks go off the starting line. Dizzy J takes an early lead with the green duck. Zest with the punk duck. Monkey Thrifter with the Fuser duck, is that right? Emsden, we've got Tiny Clown, Frey Andy Bentos. It's all pretty closely packed as we hit the 1 minute 30 mark of the race. Towards the back, we've got the Clown. We've got Lisa, Richard Payne, Lazy Jane all drifting out of sight, out of mind. Graham Cope takes the lead at the front with the naked duck. Naked ducks always more likely to win the race, basically because there's more of them in here than ducks with different colours and outfits. Helen is leading. Now that's cheating, isn't it? A great big beak on Helen's duck. That's a bit cheating. What if it was like that much in between winning the race and Helen won that because of a massive beak? I think there's a cheat going on there. Lin's in the trump duck this week, and Mr. AJ's up there close. Lazy Jane, we've got Sell, Sum Up Store, Joan up there, Heather Martin as well. Nothing major, Stripey Duck at the bottom there. We're less than a minute left of the race, and it's all very unusually random as always on the duck race. We don't know who's going to win. Anyone can come out of nowhere to win this race. Disney Rich in the middle. Delwyn, Helen, Monkey Thrifter, AMPR, Tiny Clown. Heather Martin, 365 days workout plan is currently leading with the brown bear duck. Glory Souls with the bee duck. Heather Martin, Frey Andy Bentus and 365 are leading the pack. Very close at the front. It could be either of those ducks that's going to win. 365's got this in the bag. No problem at all. Hang on a minute. It could be Peter Ray's come out of nowhere. I'm not even seeing Peter Ray. Peter Ray's going to win the race. It's unbelievable. Peter Ray came out of nowhere to win the race. He's going to be absolutely delighted with that win. Well done to Peter Ray. Finally, we can finally get tonight's prize out, because I'm pretty sure Peter Ray will be delighted to claim his prize in the duck race tonight. Well done. And Peter has already booked his place in the 2025 Champion of Champions duck race. He's in there. No messing about. Well done to Peter. Don't forget, Peter, send me a message, Instagram or Facebook. You've got me deets. And we will pass that information on to Pitco, who will send out your prize in the post. Let's shut up that duck a minute. Hang on a minute. There we go. And we're pretty much done. What's coming up on the channel this week? There's another video out week where I've got an unboxing to share with you, as well as picking some orders. That's coming out in probably a Wednesday, and then we'll get another video out weekend. I am going to put out a video, hopefully within a week, about having a VA, a virtual assistant, do your listing for you. No more listing. It's the reseller's dream, right? Is it all it's cracked up to be? That's going to be the video. That's going to come out within a week, hopefully. Hopefully you'll find that one interesting. It's taken me a while to get to grips with having a VA. But am I going to continue using one? You'll have to wait and see. That's it for tonight. Thank you all so much for joining us and for all your interactiveness, all your questions, all your comments, all your encouragements, or your advice. Very much appreciated. And hopefully we'll see you all next week. In the meantime, check out yesterday's video if you haven't already. That is it. That is it, everybody. Take care. Have a good week. Happy sales, folks. Happy hunting. Happy sales. Hang on. Bye.